why do these like really good fares even happen? Like
Mm.
especially mistake fares, because are the airlines controlling these directly at all times? Like how are you able to get a flight from New York City to Milan for $140 round trip? Like why do
Hmm.
these happen day after day, and how are you able to find them?
Yeah. So uh, there are a few different categories of cheap flights, and by far the best ones, like the cheapest ones, are mistake fares. And mistake fares, like the name, are essentially when an airline mistakenly sells a ticket for way less than they meant to. Uh, they did not mean to sell me that ticket to Milan for $130. My best guess is that they meant to sell it for $1,300 and left a zero off at the end when somebody was just typing it in. But there's any number of things that can cause a mistake fare. It can be, a fat finger discount or literally just human error. Somebody plugs in the wrong price. It can be like a currency conversion thing where it just doesn't translate, like something got mixed up in the currency conversion, or it can be a partner kind of mistake where, look, when you go to united.com, you can book flights not just on United, you can book flights on, Lufthansa, on Lot Polish, on Avianca, like all these different partner airlines. Sometimes the price gets like misread or mixed up in translation between two companies who each have their own pricing algorithms. Sometimes it can just be like an overnight currency devaluation. So in Myanmar, like a decade ago, there was a point where they basically over devalued their currency in a significant way overnight. And so all of a sudden, like tickets that had been $8,000 in first class to fly from the US to Yangon, all of a sudden was now like $800 or even less to fly in first class over there. And so like, look, these things happen. Mistakes happen. That's why they put erasers on pencils. And but the thing is, most of the time when they do happen, if you're one of the lucky few people who buy that ticket before they fix the mistake, chances are that the airline is going to honor it. Like 80%, 85% of the time, the airlines do end up honoring those mistake fares. So because they're extremely valuable, $130 flight to Milan, round trip, nonstop. But because that flight is not, that availability of that fare is not going to last very long, finding out about it as early and as quickly as possible is really key to be able to get it before it disappears. That $130 flight is not around for days and days and days. That was around for like 3 or 4 hours. And so that's kind of the premise of what we do is like, look, we're always looking, we're always searching. When those deals pop up, we want to let our members know about it so that they can get it before it disappears.
So there are times when the airline will not honor that, like they're not required legally to honor it, and it's. I think there actually one deal recently that the airline came back and was like, "This was a mistake. If you bought it, we're gonna not honor it." Like, why? I guess why would an airline honor it as opposed to being like, "Hey, that was a mistake. You have to buy it at the normal price."
Good question. Reason why is that it tends to be really bad publicity. If all of a sudden, if Delta goes around and, all of a sudden just starts canceling thousands and thousands of people's thousands of people's tickets, like, look, it's 2019, everybody's social media, like that is a horrendous PR problem for Delta that everybody is out there is all of a sudden going on trashing them. Like, like fuck Delta. I can't believe they like canceled my ticket. I'll never fly them again. Like that's really really bad press for the airline. On the flip side, if you have thousands and thousands of people who are super hyped to fly your airline and super thankful. Oh my God, thank you so much, Delta. I can't believe I'm going to get to go take my bucket list trip to Rome for, $200. I've never thought I could afford this. Like that is incredible publicity. Like you can't buy that level of goodwill not only from customers, but again, from social media. They're telling all their friends and everything. Nobody books a $130 flight to Milan and keeps it a secret. Like everybody, people are going to brag about that. So airlines kind of make a little bit of a calculation in their mind. Like, they're going to lose some money on that mistake fare, but it's probably worth it for the actual good publicity. And on the flip side, we probably would lose more money in brand value from everybody being pissed off at us than we would gain back from not selling those mistake fares. So I think that's the general sort of calculation that airlines tend to make. It used to be the case until about 2015 that airlines were actually, in the US at least, were actually required to honor mistake fares. That is no longer the case, that they're required to honor them. What is the case, though, is that if they sell a fare, somebody books it, and then they make, like, non-refundable. Let's say you book a mistake fare to Kenya, and you make a non-refundable safari reservation or something, and then Delta comes back and cancels your ticket. Like, you're not out that money for the safari. They actually are liable to reimburse you for any non-refundable expenses.
Yeah.